cool.
Hi, welcome to Wake TV. So today Sue and I are going to talk about stop micromanaging universe. So I came across this new tarot card reader, the tarot priestess, I think priest, but she's really good at it. And then I was doing pick a card, and then she was like, "Oh, stop micromanaging." And I'm thinking, okay, that's gonna apply to a lot of people, and a good idea to talk about it. So, according to my observation, including my own experience, when we started to micromanaging universe because of past repeated disappointing result from universe wasn't really there to manifest for us, or you kind of got guidance from your guide, and that was kind of like not correct in a way. I give you one example. Like year ago, I was told by my guide to pay $500 for DWAG.
A stock, right?
I think that was the name of it. but I was originally thinking about only paying $100, right? And then they said, no, pay for 500. But you know how stock market goes up and down, and it's not psychologically good. So I wasn't really looking at it until a week ago, because investor needed to vote for making a huge decision. So I went back to my stock app and I looked at how much it was. It was like $27 or $23 or something from 500. So this is why, this is one of the example that when you get certain guidance, like, oh, pay for $500 for this stock, so you're gonna make $2,000, and then, well, I end up having $27 now. I kind of lost like rest of the money.
In this moment point.
In this moment. So when you are having this kind of experience, you are going to use that as an example. Like, how could you not micromanage it, right? So that's one of the example when you guys, might be having some kind of manifestation you wanted to manifest, or wanted to experience certain things, or got certain guidance from your guide, or inspiration from the universe, and the things didn't turn out the way you wanted to be. And then at the end of the day, you say, you know what, I'm going to take matter in my own hand, because at least I know where it is going. That's
Well, if you take matters in your own hands and you were to turn your stock in now, you only have $27. But if you trust the universe and the guidance you were given, and you wait and play the long game with it, you know that it's going to result in quite a bit of a bounty. It's going to be quite a bit more than $27. But it's just, I think what you're talking about is that mental internal thing that we do and go, well, wait a minute, I spent 500, now it's only worth 27. And that's why I think, yeah, and that upsets a lot of people. But I think that's why you said you don't look at it daily or even regularly, because you could get kind of a mind fuck if you do. It's upsetting. But if you trust the universe and fall into it, that original guidance you were giving, that is going to pay off for you quite a bit, actually. And also, if you think about it, like if we're asserting our own personal will, and we did get upset and said, well, at least I'm going to get my $27 back, and you go and grab it out, and then a week later you find out it went up again, and you're like, well, I should have waited, and I think we do this, excuse me, it's a control thing. But I think we do these back and forth things, or we act preemptively, or react would be a better term for it. My guys just said react. We react to extraneous things, or we want it in our timing. That's my
Yeah.
biggest problem is I want it now. I want to be patient and I want it now. Um, it's it, it's so that my prayer for it is, give me the grace to be patient. Give me the grace to watch it unfold the way it needs to instead of the way I think it should. And this is kind of a common thread that you and I talk about a lot in other contexts, but it seems to be a rolling theme, which is,
Yeah.
what is faith? And um, I think when we micromanage the universe, what you mean by that is like we're trying to control outcomes. And or if we get a set of guidance and then we don't see right away the immediate results, our tendency is to take some kind of action, or have a reaction to nothing happening. And I think sometimes we're snowballing into a worse a situation, we're making it worse by not being patient.
Yeah. Like, but like, yeah, that's 100% correct.
So like this morning, you asked me to talk about this example. I think it's perfect timing for me to tell you this, but so I have a situation with my teeth and I had to get a hold of this dentist, and I did all this research on my new dentist because my old dentist I don't like, um for various reasons, but I didn't feel like I was getting the care that was appropriate. And so um I did the research. I found the new dentist. I even talked to a friend of mine, who's psychic, and she was, "Oh yeah, you're gonna love her. She's great, whatever." So I called this morning right at 8:10 a.m. because they open at 8 a.m. and I couldn't get through. And then I called, waited 5 minutes and called again. Still, nobody's answering the phone. I'm getting an answering machine. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? I was told it, but I also heard my guide say to me, just give it a few minutes. They'll call you back, right? Is what my guide said. But
Mhm.
did I wait a few minutes? I've just freaking had it with this whole dentistry thing. I just want to be done with it and I'm out of patience, right? I need some patience. Um, so I call this other place that I haven't done the research on, and of course they could get me in today. And while I'm on the phone with the unknown quantity, the known quantity is trying to call me back, which is what my guide said was going to happen. See what I mean? It's like if you try to force situations, I think sometimes it blows up. I mean, it wasn't that big of a deal because I ended up getting the one I want, and they're going to see me tomorrow, which is soon enough. But like I already made an appointment with this other place, and I had to call them right back and cancel, which is weird. It's weird.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have had to do that if I had just like held my breath, done some breathing exercises and paid attention to my job, which, I was supposed to be doing at the time. Well, no, it wasn't time to go to work yet, but I mean, I could have paid attention to other things while I was waiting for the phone call, but I didn't trust that they were going to call me back. And yeah, I was doing some micromanaging this morning myself, and it's kind of waste of energy in some ways. When you get guidance and your guides say this is going to happen, then it's probably going to happen.
I mean, like, trust is the key, but like, when I was listening to this tarot priest, she's really good at it, and she was saying like, "Oh, universe isn't all this your terrible betrayed friend or exes or parents. Universe are not human, so they're gonna act for your best interest. They don't have any agenda." She was like talking about that. We all know that, right? We all know that. But like, when it comes to, let's say, if people are having repeated disappointing experience in relationship or whatever, the job hunting or whatever the thing they are having a difficult time with, then it is very difficult to have faith, right? Or well, trust. So this is the reason why I wanted to talk about to you guys, because I'm pretty sure we can all relate to this topic.
Yeah. But you know, if we're efforting and efforting and efforting towards a goal and we keep getting the same results, the same results, the same results, maybe we need to tweak our game plan a little bit, or our approach, or where we're looking for something. I'm trying to think of a good example, but you know, you use the example of job hunting, and maybe it's just, you know, you need to change your resume, you need to state, you need to interview differently. Just it can be little tweaks too, you know. But if you keep doing the same thing and you keep getting the same results, that means maybe the approach needs to change a little bit. Um, or it's a tough market and everybody's struggling the same. If you keep your positive thinking about it and just keep imagining yourself accepting that job, um, that could be a possibility too, or try both. Try having some faith and also maybe tweak what you're doing a little bit. But it is. I think in the human condition, trusting the universe is probably one of the most challenging things that I've been trying to learn and do. And
Yeah, because there's so much uncertainty. Like a lot of times it's not like obviously, wow, this is coming, right? Some of the stuff we want, we don't see the external world of like the proof or anything, right? And then you still are asked to trust.
yeah, and in some of the, you know, when I look back in my history, and during some of my worst times, my biggest struggles, I never fell too far. So that's part of where my trust comes from, is that somehow, and sometimes almost miraculously, everything has always worked out, even though I was afraid it wouldn't. And so that's evidence that there isn't, that to me, that's evidence that there is a higher power, that there are forces conspiring for our success. And the other thing too, and what I think a lot of people don't realize is that, because a lot of people, their worst fear is death. And death isn't always the worst outcome. Um, I'm a little gonna have a hard time getting this out because I have a friend that is probably dying, and um, at the very least, at the beginning of the death and dying process. And boy, did we go through it this whole last year, trying to get together, trying to make schedules work. Um, we had, you know, to do a quantum healing session and to do, you know, work together. And I kept feeling like even his dog asked me to help him. Oh,
Mhm.
bless,
Oh,
bless,
thank you.
bless. So when the realization filtered through for me that he's made his choice on what he's going to do for his with his health, and it's his choice is to do nothing. Well, not nothing, but pain management. Well, that's a good thing. You don't want to go through pain. Um, it was really hard for me, and but I also kind of felt that it was coming, that that choice was going to be made by him. And you know, without giving any details, I know that there's going to be a great relief for him when he does cross over. Uh, I'm going to miss him, and it's really hard for me to back off and say, I respect this person's journey. I respect their decision, and not sort of try to bug him to make a different decision.
Hmm.
So, um, sometimes we give it our best effort to do something or accomplish something, and it's just not meant to be, or because other people have free will choice,
Yeah.
um, what we want for them is not what they want for themselves or what's meant for them. And so there's grace in accepting that. I think the biggest part of human suffering comes from expectation. If we didn't have all of the expectations that we have, we wouldn't be disappointed nearly as much as we are.
Oh yeah, and then when you don't expect anything, we can live in present,
Exactly.
you know.
Yep.
Um
And when we cross over, back to the death thing as not being the worst possible outcome, I know that all of, my friends' worldly cares are gonna just fall off. They're just gonna he's renewed. There's no real death, there's only transition. So, um, sometimes, the universe is asking us to make a decision. Do we wanna stay or do we wanna go? And that's completely individual, that choice. Some people aren't done with this life yet and they want to fight and they want to stay, and other people are just like, ah, shit, had enough of this, I'm ready.
yeah, I mean,
And that's not
our,
necessarily a bad thing.
yeah, our responsibility is we make a big decision, right? Whatever, like, and then universe kind of take a note of it.
Exactly.
And then when that is against your soul will or something, then they're gonna put you back into the route that they want you to be back on. But
That's true.
our job is kind of make a decision. Then, like I can tell you the funny story. Like I did go to this um astrologer, but this lady is not just astrologer. I think she's a clairvoyant because there
Mhm.
is no way to read it that accurately just looking at my chart. So basically, I did a soulmate reading like maybe 6 years ago, something like that, or maybe 8 years ago, whatever. Could be 9. But anyhow, I did that reading, and then it was. I wish I kept that document and I show it to you. So it was really, really interesting. I paid $400, and
Oh,
she's a
wow.
Russian lady,
Mhm.
and then she's very famous in England. And then she read, it was very accurate. Oh, I remember that was 2014, I think. Yeah, 2014. So she read my thing, and then I was gonna travel, right? And then I didn't tell her I was gonna travel, but in that reading, she was saying, "Oh, you are going to meet your future soulmate, and you're gonna meet in the airplane, and then he has very distinctive eye color, and he has black hair, and he's wearing leather jacket, and he's very good looking." And then he will sit down next to you and you're gonna start talking. And I was like, okay, I started to read like 11-page report or something. But long story short, we're gonna get married according to that timeline. I'm gonna find out that he has a fucking dead, so much of it. And then I'm gonna have pretty much difficult life financially by being with him because he's the kind of person who helped out everyone to be rich, but he doesn't really get any benefit of it. And then I'm married to this person.
Hmm.
So I read it, and then I was like, okay, let's see what's gonna happen. So I was traveling to Ireland. I was in the plane, and then my seat next to me was empty. And then this guy came and then he sat down next to me. He did have a distinctive eye color because he didn't have blue eyes. because a lot of times in people in Ireland, they have either green eyes or blue or gray. It's hard to find someone who has the brown eyes, and this guy had the brown eyes. And then he started talking to me, but I knew he wanted to talk to me a lot. So I already made up my mind that there's no way I'm gonna meet this guy to make him be my husband. So I told the universe, fuck you, universe. I actually use that word. Fuck you, universe. If this is the last person who's gonna be my future husband, I don't need anybody. I don't mind being the rest of my life by myself if this is the only person I have to be married to. I said that really, really strongly to the universe. And then we had a few words exchanged. And then he asked the stewardess to change his seat.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
And then we arrived to Ireland, and that was 6 a.m. in the morning. There's the only cafe which was open, and I was supposed to meet a group of people. So I had 2 hours waiting for him, and he happened to be in the cafe too. So if we started chatting and then we kept on chatting, of course, we end up spending time in the cafe and then we are, landing at the same place. You know how it goes because he
Yeah.
originally
Yeah.
lives in New York. And yeah, of course, we're going to end up getting married because only information I had that time without Ivana's reading was he's good looking.
That covers a lot of people.
I mean, he was like a movie star, good looking, kind of really good looking guy.
But
But
he's broke and he has a lot of debt. So that wasn't what you were signing up for.
yeah, and then he doesn't seem like he's poor, like like doing pretty much well, kind of way of dressing and stuff like that. Job isn't like, oh, I'm employed or anything. So you don't know all these details unless I had the reading. But I had a very accurate reading, and I was super impressed by Ivana, and I was like, wow, like she just read my chart, but she explained what kind of childhood he had and what kind of mother he had and all these details. And then which location in the area he had the property with problem. We had some kind of legal matter with the problem.
Yeah, I mean, you really bring up a good point that we ultimately have say-so and free will.
Oh yeah, so
So no matter what is offered by the universe, we can zig where we might have thought we were going to zag when we were planning this life. We always have that choice. That reminds me of a time when, in between my two husbands, that I was dating this fella, and I don't know. I was just kind of glad to be dating and not tied to anybody. And I was so young. And this fella that I had known for a long time, we went to high school together. He invited me to come stay with him and check out where he was living. I had my young son, my oldest son at that time, but he was little. And so I had to be very careful, be very responsible what decisions I made because it wasn't just me. I mean, if it was just me and I was single, I might have given it a go,
mhm.
um, just to see how it worked out. But the fun part about it is, I'm sure that if things had worked out between us, if I had gone and things had worked out between us, I would have had a very nice life. He met a beautiful lady and they had 2 kids, and he was very responsible. Always thought he was just fun, good looking guy. We've been friends for a long time, but I didn't go. And the reason I didn't go is because I couldn't, at that time, I just couldn't throw the dice with my son, whether it would
Mhm.
work or not, because it was a whole nother state I would move to.
Oh,
Yeah. So, fast forward to now. And I mean, if I had done that, I most certainly wouldn't be with my husband that I'm
yeah,
with
that's a
now.
totally different timeline.
It is a very different timeline. So, it's important to put that out there. We talk about micromanaging. I think what we're talking about isn't these big decisions because those are ours and we have free will. It's like
Yeah.
whether you want to have kids or not.
Mhm.
It's um, it doesn't matter what you put in your life plan. If you get here and you're going along and you decide you don't want to have kids, that's fine. You don't have to have them. Um, there's not going to be some colossal, earth-shattering thing go wrong in the universe if you don't have kids. It's the same way with relationships, but the micromanaging, what we're talking about is when we set something out for ourselves, or we know something's coming to us and we keep trying to tweak it until it's exactly, we're doing the exact thing and we're having the right thoughts and we're walking the right steps in order for it to happen the way we want it to happen. See, that's where we're talking about a little bit of trust, not the big decisions in life.
Yeah, because we have to pick the timeline. We have to make a decision, right? So
Yeah,
that's universe not gonna pick it for us. We have to, because
right.
we're gonna come to the fork in the road always sometimes, right? And then we make a decision. But universe is kind of friendly, in a way. If
Usually, unless we're walking in the absolute wrong direction for us and we keep knocking on the door and keep trying to bang the door open, then the universe is going to start hitting us with uncomfortable situations because that door, I mean, the universe said no. You
Yeah,
keep trying to pull that door open and it doesn't work, or when you get it open, you hit yourself in the face with it and then it closes again. I mean, those are signs that it's not for you.
yeah, it's getting
Um,
harder and harder. But
yeah.
when you are in the fork in the road, and then universe wants you to go to the road you also originally agreed to, then they make sure the other way is obviously not working, before you even make a decision, right?
Or you
So
get the gut feelings, or you get some kind of message along the way, and you're like, boy, am I glad I found out about that before I went that direction.
yeah, like I use for example as a job, right? You have two job choices. The one your heart saying you love this job, and the other one your parents or other people say you should do this job. You want to make tons of money, so you decided to do the one your parents or other people say, "Oh, you should do this. You're gonna make tons of money," and you happen to be good at it, right? And then you end up not making as much as you are supposed to be making, right? And you're gonna get disappointed. That's kind of like tells you that's not the right path.
Or you're making all the money and you're going, I just don't find any joy in it. Uh, why do I feel so, I come home and I have all this money and I have all this success and maybe even some kudos, people know who I am, I have status, but it's not fulfilling. So, that's another way to know that it's not for you, because if all those things are lining up and you're still not finding joy in day in life, and maybe it starts to get harder wanting to go do that job. um
Oh yeah, so universe is making sure it's not gonna work out that far.
yeah, yeah,
When they are on your side. So sometimes when things are not going well on your job side and that's not what you really wanted to do, it's a good opportunity for you to think about whether you want to keep on putting a lot of effort for that job.
yeah, because there's a couple jobs I've done in my lifetime where I'm like, I don't care if you wanted to pay me $1 million a year to do this job, I'm not doing it ever again.
Yeah, I mean, good way of asking the question is I read the book and this was a really good question. If you have all money, all health, all love life, everything you ever wanted in your life, do you still do this?
Yeah,
Whatever job,
perfect,
or are you still going to be in this relationship? You know,
perfect. Yep.
ask that. Or tomorrow you're gonna be dying. Do you still gonna do this job, or are you still gonna be in this relationship? So suddenly you're gonna see clear truth. What do you want?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a great litmus test. Uh,
Yeah. And then once you know that, you just proclaim to universe and then see what universe gonna come up with. That's not micromanaging. You just proclaim your direction to universe and then universe listen.
yeah, and try not to be too specific. I know we've talked before about when we're creating our picture of what we want,
Mhm.
So there's some people know exactly what they want and they do a storyboard and or a vision board, or they think about a certain thing over and over and over again and they want it, but they feel good when they think about having it, and it's just bringing them happiness. I would say that that is intuitively driven. It's something that's meant for you, and that's why you keep feeling so good about it every time you think about it and you imagine it over and over again. Whereas if there's something we think in our minds we might want, but not necessarily feeling um, the warm fuzzies every time we think about it, we're just like, oh, well, it sounds like that would be a good thing to have. Mm, maybe not so, maybe not so strongly on the path, right? But then look for signs. You don't know if you're on the right path. That's okay. That's happened to me several times in my life.
Mm.
With big topics, not just little things like what am I going to eat tonight, but like which career path, for example, or which relationship, like I just shared with you. Then you got to go inside and intuit, because the one that feels where your body tells you that it feels right and you get a really comfortable, fuzzy feeling about it, that's more likely to be the choice for you than one where you have to, you're thinking about it and it makes sense on paper, but you're not feeling it.
Yeah. Or, the direction isn't the optimum direction. Something happened even in the relationship. And then, either he has to move all of a sudden to Russia or something, out of the blue. That kind of thing happen if you are not meant to be with this person,
Yeah.
you
Because,
know?
then you got to ask yourself, do I see myself living in Russia?
You
No.
know?
Okay. Well, do I see him coming back? No. Okay. Yeah.
That happens. So micromanaging is like kind of forcing universe to put you into submit into your will and your timeline and your deadline, but you proclaim which direction you want to go, a decision. It's your responsibility. So I hope that's clear, to explain to all of you guys. So next week, me and Sue going to bring more interesting topic. Thank you so much for watching. Please share, like, subscribe, and we see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.